Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppets from Space 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And this week we have a return guest. He's a frequent guest on this podcast, and we're always very happy to have him here. Guest, please introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Erik Adams.
Hey, Erik Adams. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me back. Such a thrill to be talking about a movie that I have a lot of fond memories of, but when rewatching it last night, none of them seemed to be coming to me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I get that.
That's kind of the thing with this movie is I feel like you either have fond memories and then you're disappointed, or you hated it the first time and are pleasantly surprised. You know, I think that's what we're finding.
I mean, there's plenty of Muppet fans that we've heard from who really love it. I think it's, as with many of these things, if you saw it at a certain age or below a certain age, let's say, those people still often have fondness for it. Mm-hmm. But today we are here to talk about minutes 13 and 14 of Muppets from Space, in which we meet two men and a bear who are searching for alien life. So after a very brief glimpse of the miniature cement truck with the camera sticking out of it that we saw last week, we cut to the inside of COVNET. We never find out what COVNET stands for. I'm kind of surprised they didn't try to come up with a funny abbreviation for that.
Covert operative, very nice, excellent time.
Good. I mean, now that you say that, it could just be like covert network or something.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Something not funny like that. But anyway, we meet a COVNET
New Zealand
agent.
and Ralph do something not funny? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, curtain closes. We meet a COVNET agent. This is K. Edgar Singer, and he is played by Jeffrey Tambor. Now, who is Jeffrey Tambor? Well, he's an actor, mostly a comedic actor. He started appearing in movies and TV in the 70s. I think he's best known for two roles, which is as Hank Kingsley on The Larry Sanders Show, where he was the sidekick to Gary Shandling's late-night talk show host. That character is pretty similar to this one. I think that probably informed their choice to cast him as this character. They're both kind of dumb guys who are frustrated at the consequences of them being dumb. Like they keep trying to prove themselves, but they just are frustrated.
And also very quick to anger.
Yes, that's true. Right, yeah, both of them, you're right. And then he also played George Bluth on Arrested Development. I guess also Oscar Bluth, his twin brother on Arrested Development.
I'm not Oscar.com.
Yeah. He has a bunch of other credits as well. Just to put it out there, we should also acknowledge that when he was appearing on the Amazon show Transparent, a few women who worked with him came forward with allegations about him sexually harassing them. You can read more specific information about that by, searching for Jeffrey Tambor online. But, we do want to acknowledge these things as we go along because it kind of casts a shadow over all his performances, which I used to be able to like a lot more than I do now.
It is a tremendous bummer. And also, I mean, if we're going to talk about that, he also screamed at Jessica Walter during later Netflix seasons of Arrested Development. Just does not seem to be a very pleasant person to work with.
Right. Especially if you're a woman and you're his coworker.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Erik, you used the word bummer, I believe. And, I mean, I was such a big fan of both of those shows, Arrested Development and Larry Sanders.
Yeah.
Hit to the point where, I still can't quite shake being happy to see him. Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean.
Even though, I know he's not a good guy. When I hear him say things in that grumpy voice of his, it's just kind of oh yeah, there he is, Hank Kingsley. He's going to open a revolving restaurant.
Right.
George Bluth is hiding in the attic. I don't know. Maybe that's not. We don't need to get into it any more than that. But
yeah, no, I think I think we all know what you mean. And especially, every comedy fan loves Larry Sanders and Arrested Development. So, it just kind of, cast a shadow over the whole thing.
Yeah. We should talk about the fact that his character name in this is also a dumb pun on another not so pleasant man.
Yeah, of course. I didn't even put that in my notes, but elaborate on that.
The character's name is K. Edgar Singer, and he is, of course, named after long time FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover. A Hoover is a brand of vacuum cleaner, and a Singer is a brand of sewing machine.
Right.
And that's the level of pun we're working with here.
Yeah, that's it. I guess that kind of counts as like one for the parents in the audience because kids don't know who J. Edgar Hoover is.
Right.
But
so at least there was
it is a like A to C sort of pun where like if you're not thinking like, because it's not even another vacuum cleaner brand, like it's another home appliance. Like
his name should have been K. Edgar Oric.
Yeah,
is what I'm hearing.
But I guess the problem there is that Hoover like was so connected to vacuum, was like the Kleenex to vacuum cleaners. So
right. Which Singer probably is for sewing machines, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's like certainly the only brand I can name.
I can't name any other brands of sewing machines. My other thought is K. Edgar Black & Decker, if they wanted to go with another.
That could work.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So K. Edgar Singer greets his boss here. This is a man dressed in a military uniform. And this is General Luft, who is played by Pat Hingle. Now, who is Pat Hingle?
Commissioner?
Well, Commissioner. See, he's certainly best known as Commissioner Gordon in all four of the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batman movies.
He and Michael, is it Michael Michael Goff?
Goff, I believe.
Goff, yeah, they're the only actors who appear in all four of those. Michael Goff, who played Alfred.
Alfred, yes.
I almost drew a blank there. So that's pretty cool. Pat Hingle was a prolific character actor. The earliest of his 200 credits on IMDb is from 1951, which is an episode of Suspense on TV. Do you want to guess the four things that IMDb says he's known for?
Are we playing the IMDb game?
Sure, yeah.
Sure. Batman.
Batman 1989 is one of them, yes.
I'm going to guess a movie I just saw him in, Splendor in the Grass.
No.
Where he plays Warren Beatty's dad. Oh, he's quite good in that, and he's only like 15 years older than Warren Beatty, but he already seems 60 in 1961. He's like 46 years old in the movie.
Yeah.
But,
is the second one Batman Returns?
No, no other Batman
movies
appear in the four known fours.
All right, so let's see. A Dirty Harry movie, Sudden Impact?
No, I'll give you a couple more guesses. You might not.
But is there any Eastwood movie? Because he's in a bunch of Eastwood movies. Is it like High Plains Drifter? Or...
Well, there's a Western. I'm not sure if Clint Eastwood is in this movie because I don't know much about it.
Okay.
From 1968.
68? Is it...
Yes.
Let's see. So that's not Outlaw Josie Wales.
No.
1968. I don't know.
Hang 'em High.
That is a Clint Eastwood movie.
Okay, there you go. Mm-hmm. And then the other two are Maximum Overdrive.
That's a Stephen King movie, right?
I think so.
That's a Stephen King directed movie.
Oh,
right. Wow.
That's right. And that's the only one, right?
I think so.
It's like
Great trailer for that, where it is just kind of like Stephen King narrating direct to camera. And I think at the end he goes like, "I'm Stephen King, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of you."
Is that right?
Huh. And does the movie live up to the trailer?
Oh, absolutely not. It's like one of the goofiest King adaptations. I mean, it's one of the goofiest King stories to begin with.
Sure.
Yeah, there's probably a reason it was his only time directing then.
Sure. And then the fourth movie is the Christian movie Road to Redemption that we had on VHS when I was in high school, where he plays a young woman's very religious grandfather.
No, that's not it. Although the title is biblical, or it's possibly biblical. It's The Quick and the Dead is the other one.
Yeah, that's biblical.
The Sam Raimi movie? He's in that?
Yeah.
I did not remember that he was in
I
that.
guess he's just one of the Western townspeople of
Sure.
some sort.
Yeah,
I don't remember, who he plays in that. But
well, and that's what he is. He's just like a guy who shows up.
Exactly. He's one of those guys. Yeah, and
I
like you said, he always looks old.
Yeah, and I don't know if he probably played a lead in some. I mean, Road to Redemption. I just said it, but
Yeah.
But like for the most part, he'll just show up like this, and he's in a few scenes, and hey, he's a pro. He's doing his job.
Projects authority.
Yeah. Well, I've recently been gradually watching all of the Twilight Zone, and he did have a lead role in an episode, a 1963 episode of the Twilight Zone called "The Incredible World of Horace Ford." Where it's yet another one of those Twilight Zone episodes where a guy longs to revisit his childhood, and then it happens, but not the way he might have hoped. So he did have the lead role in that. That's Pat Hingle. So General Luft says to K. Edgar Singer, "I'm on a schedule, Singer. What have you got?" And Singer says, "Hard evidence. We finally got him." And he presses a button on his intercom phone on the desk and buzzes another room and says, "Rentro." And then somebody says, "Yes, sir." And who is that saying yes, sir? It's Bobo.
It's Bobo the Bear from Muppets Tonight.
It's Bobo as Rentro.
Who we just heard introducing COVNET.
Right.
So we know he's hanging around there somewhere.
Right.
I'll never understand why they changed his name. Ryan, is there any indication in any of the scripts why his name is not Bobo in this movie?
So actually, he does not appear. Rentro does not appear in any of the Jerry Jules drafts of the screenplay. So, yeah, I don't know. It seems like I didn't see this on the Muppet Wiki page, but it seems like at some point I heard that they changed his name because they didn't want Bobo to be a villain. Which kind of makes sense, but I don't know. Muppets have played villains.
Yeah,
have been villainous.
Yeah, Rizzo is like Charles. He like sells the whole team out to Charles Grodin in Muppets of Walt Disney World.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Rizzo as himself. I don't know.
But why Rentro? What is that name?
Like, I have no idea. I have no theories.
Yeah, it's weird because it almost sounds like rental, but I don't think it's a pun about rental.
Or it almost sounds like retro.
Retro, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a new Muppet. He was only a few years old at this time.
Yeah, right.
If it was like Thog or Beautiful Day Monster, then retro would make sense.
That's true. That would be. I would like to see Beautiful Day Monster playing this part, or Thog. I mean, Thog would be distracting, but.
Why did they call him Rentro for every other appearance? Like, that's what we call him now.
If he's always playing the character of Rentro.
Well,
I guess, if that's his official separating
name,
them.
Like
right.
Yeah.
Like how he's Beautiful Day Monster because of that one sketch. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or Mean Mama or whatever. Like, just, there's always Muppet monsters who have a name because of one sketch.
Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know if we mentioned this when we heard his voice last week, but yes, Bobo debuted on Muppets Tonight, yet another character who's in this movie who carried over from Muppets Tonight. And before anybody says anything, yes, technically the puppet for Bobo debuted in the Muppets Take Manhattan, but he was not the character Bobo until Muppets Tonight.
And he was in Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree, too.
Oh, yeah. He's one of the bears doing the honey pot dance.
A very normal television movie.
Yes.
Right.
He's one of the stars.
Yeah, and I guess, so they've just done 2 movies where Muppets played other characters. So like this is kind of like a little bit of residue of that left over, because now there's a movie with one Muppet playing another character instead of playing himself.
Maybe it was like an Adele Dazeem situation on set where Tambor forgot that he was called Bobo and he just said Rentro and they just ran with it.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. Bobo is making a peanut butter and honey sandwich at his desk when we see him. He has one of those little bear-shaped honey bottles, which is kind of funny because he's a bear, although I guess it's not that different than when Mrs. Butterworth used to come in bottles shaped like a human woman.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have human-shaped syrup bottles.
Yeah. So Singer makes a request of Bobo as Rentro. He asks for the remote. And Rentro says,
Sorry, Ryan, did you say the goat?
the
I think maybe my
remote.
headphones are
The remote.
the goat. There must be something wrong with the audio feed.
This is maybe my favorite joke in this movie.
Well, Eric, when I messaged you asking what you wanted for this movie, you said two, and one of them was this scene because of the goat.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what do you love about the goat?
I mean, so I guess I'm contradicting myself from earlier in the episode because I do have fond memories of this scene just because like it's such a weird non sequitur and it's just lived in my head forever. Like to the
Same.
point where anytime I hear the word remote, like it just pops up into my head. Like, and there are probably only a small handful of people who I could, engage in that inside joke dialogue with, and
Yeah.
I'm related to three of them. But yeah, I don't know. It was just like it's so out of nowhere. It's such a just like dumb joke, but it is really funny. Like, who could have misheard remote as the goat?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
would he be
right.
asking for the goat
Yes.
in their office? Yeah.
It's
Right.
it's just great, and for whatever reason, now I completely associate that particular appliance with this line.
Yeah, same. I
Yeah.
say it to my kids all the time, and they've seen this movie and they don't think it's funny when I do it.
Oh.
Like it's just like no,
It's
Um,
very dad joke coded.
it is. Yeah, that's the thing.
sure. Do you like do an approximation of Bobo's voice or at least kind of the delivery?
No, I usually just say the goat like that.
Yeah.
But when I do an, you said, do you do an approximation of Bobo's voice? Often, if a male student comes in to check out a book outside of their class time, like when they come down, teacher sends them down to check out
Yeah.
before school or whatever. Often, if it's a male student, I'll say, "Have a good day, sir," on their way out, and
Yeah.
no one has ever reacted.
See, you just
like what
you
third grader is going to be like, "Oh yeah, Muppets
Muppets
tonight."
Tonight. But we just have to find these ways to amuse ourselves.
uh,
Yeah, I've quoted this many times when my wife Stacy asks if I've seen the remote. I'll say the goat, and she knows by now what it's from. But yeah,
but she
it's
also
just like
doesn't think it's
it's not
funny.
like it's not like she's laughing every time I do it. So yeah,
Stacey
but
hooting and hollering every time you say the goat.
yeah, but we have I'm sure so many Muppet fans do the same thing, and we have fun. That's good.
Mhm.
Oh, and I also wanted to say, I think part of the reason it works is the framing of it, because right before Singer asks for the remote, it cuts to this shot where he's in focus in the foreground and Bobo is out of focus in the background, but this is where we see how close they are to each other. Like there's not even a door or a wall separating them. He's just a few feet or a few yards
You're
away.
right. Right.
And when Bobo says the goat, he doesn't even really use the intercom, it seems. He's just kind of shouting across the empty space. So
Yeah.
that just makes it even funnier. So bravo, Tim Hill there, I gotta say. That was well planned, well staged.
Also, as long as we're talking about Bobo's introduction, as long as we're talking about Rentro's intro, um,
Ooh.
thank you.
Bobo as Rentro's intro.
Bobo as Rentro's Bobo as intro. He, I think he looks great in the suit. He on
Oh
Muppets
yeah.
Tonight.
Mhm.
He usually just had like a security cap on, but it was otherwise a naked
Yeah,
bear.
right.
But in this, he's wearing a suit and it looks super cool.
Yeah, yeah, good call. Unfortunately, K. Edgar Singer is not as amused as all of us are. He repeats very sternly the remote, and then he continues explaining to General Luft that they have been receiving some unusual communications that are not of this earth. And Luft is very intrigued. He solemnly says, yes. And this is when Bobo brings over the remote. He says, heads up, incoming. He kind of bumps into General Luft on the way. He apologizes. Bill Beretta is absolutely making the most of Bobo's feature film debut here.
He's the MVP of this movie. Beretta like really makes the most of Bobo and Pepe's parts.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, he really does. Uh, Bobo hands Singer a remote that looks kind of needlessly complicated. Like it's kind of big. It has two joysticks on it. It looks like one of those controllers that you would use exclusively for fighting games.
Hmm.
Singer says, "We believe that aliens are using a contact on Earth to plan their invasion." And then as he pushes a button, the wall opens to reveal several video screens. He says, "This same message, 'Are you there?' has appeared all over the world." And of course, we recognize that this is the same message that was spelled out in Gonzo's Cap'n Alphabet serial. And he shows that they've captured these messages on film, the Pyramid of Giza. So it's "Are you there?" carved into the side of the pyramid.
And no one else noticed. Like that's
Right,
what I
yeah,
love about
they
these,
somehow managed to capture this image on film.
Uh-huh.
Very inconspicuous.
Yes.
Hmm.
And Stonehenge, I like this one because the rocks, the huge rocks at Stonehenge are rearranged to form the letters in the words "Are you there?" And then next he shows the Hollywood sign, but as he says, this one says "Are you three?" But we believe that to be, well, a simple spelling error.
So I actually love RU3. Ryan,
Yes.
listeners, Ryan will attest that often, like for our entire friendship, the past 25 years, if we're chatting and he like had to step away but didn't tell me, I will often say RU3 in all caps
Yeah.
to like make sure that he's still there. I mean, I'm a big fan of like, speaking misspellings out loud, like that school of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric, you're a TV reviewer, so you know the joy of someone putting good episode or good episode or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And just I don't know why, but that stuff always makes me laugh. And I'm a simple man, and this is no exception.
Well, especially when it spells a different actual word. Like
Sure.
Right.
a typo is a typo, but this is like that's changing the entire meaning of the sentence to something just as nonsensical as the goat. So it's just
Yeah.
another one of those great little comical misdirects in this scene.
Right. Well, and it's very much a question that one preschooler would ask another, right? Are you three?
True, yes.
Like after you've had your own third birthday, make sure
Yeah.
the other kid is three yet.
I'm three. Are you three?
Yeah,
Yeah.
are you three? Um, but also, I wanted to say, back when we first started this podcast, I really liked the idea of having a subtitle for every season, like every new movie,
Yeah.
named after something from the movie. And Ryan rightly vetoed that idea because it would just have been unnecessary.
Well, yeah, and we also wanted to make sure that people could still find the podcast every
Right.
season.
But I really wanted the Muppets from Space season to be called "Moving Right Along: RU3," which because there's no songs, like the other ones I had in mind were "Hey, a Movie," "Together Again," "One More Sleep," "Sailing for Adventure," and then RU3
Yeah.
because there's nothing else to do
Well,
with it.
I tell you what, we can call this episode "Are You Three?" That can be the title of this one.
All right, can we call it "Moving Right Along: RU3"?
Sure.
All right.
Then
Anthony's
everybody
dream
will know.
finally coming true.
Yeah,
Everybody
It only
will know
took
what scene it is.
6 movies.
that's right.
Only, yeah. There you go. It was worth the wait. Oh wait, I was gonna say though, the other one, Anthony, that I hear you do is things are goof or sounds goof. I don't remember what the source of that is.
So that's just high school. That's just
Oh, okay. That's not
my
even a pop culture thing.
no, like my friend John one time on MSN Messenger, I think, said sounds goof to
Okay.
me. And ever since then, he and I have always said, like, that's pretty goof or whatever.
Okay.
And it just like seeped into the rest of my life. I say it to
'Cause
students. I say it to little kids. Like, I'll be like talking to a first grader and I'll be like, "What'd you think of that book? You think it was goof?" And they'll just be like, "No, it was good though," or whatever.
It's the Grink
get it.
tweet in real life.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
right,
Well,
exactly.
and what it's always reminded me of is the scene in Punch Drunk Love when somebody asks Adam Sandler how he's doing, and he says, or I think it's how's business or how's work, and he says, "Work is very food." And they say, "Did you say work is very food?" And he says, "No, no, I said work is very good."
Oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
he
yeah.
just, yeah, feels awkward about it.
Yeah, it
So,
is. It is kind of like that.
yeah, that's always funny.
Oh,
So General Luft is not impressed by any of this. He says this could be vandalism, a practical joke, and
a practical joke that the Stonehenge has been
a
rearranged to
practical joke that
spell
somebody
"are you
went all over
there?"
the planet and did this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bobo agrees, though. He says, "That's what I said." And then he says something else that I couldn't quite make out because he kind of trails off.
No, but I think Bobo muttering it like really helps. That he's just kind of like realizes they don't care and just kind of walks away muttering to himself.
Yeah,
I think
although
that's the
this,
joke.
yeah, this feels a little lazy to me of just the thing where one character says something weird and the other characters stare at them until they stop talking.
Sure.
Um, but it is in character for Bobo. So
Mhm.
Singer shows Luft that he has plotted all of these anomalies sequentially on a globe, and then he pushes another button, and all these little spots on the globe light up, and he points out that it's a spiral. There's an odd little moment where Luft just kind of looks at it, and Singer says, "Do you see the spiral?" And then he says, "Sir, they are out there. They are coming here." And this is when Luft says, "Do you have any idea what you have here, Singer?" Singer says, "Well, sir, I have an inkling." And Luft says, "Bupkis. Good day."
So before we get to Bupkis, can we talk about the fact that like most of these spiral anomalies are apparently in the ocean?
Yeah, several of them are.
Like it's just like covering the whole earth. Like
Did
what are
they,
they? It says, "Are you there?" on the ocean floor. Like
or maybe they made fish, like they arranged fish in the ocean to swim
Maybe the
in such a way
cosmic
that they.
fish contacted their earthbound
Oh,
descendants.
whoa,
yeah,
maybe they
yeah.
did.
Could be. Yeah, so bupkis. Yeah, bupkis is a Yiddish word that means nothing of value. Have you seen the Muppets from Space outtake reel?
I have, but I don't remember the Bupkis content.
There is a take where, and this is on the DVD. I think it's you can find it on YouTube now. There's a take where Pat Hingle says, "Do you have any idea what you have here?" And he says, "Boopkiss." And then there's kind of an awkward pause, and then he starts laughing, and you can hear the crew members laughing. So there's an alternate version of this movie where he just says "boopkiss" and nobody says anything.
Bupkis.
Yeah.
This is a word that I always associate with the Dick Van Dyke Show
Mm.
Mm.
because there is an episode where Rob years ago co-wrote a song called Bupkis. I think the episode is entitled Bupkis,
Oh.
now it's like a hit on the radio, and he's not getting credit for it, and he's
Oh,
mad.
that's funny.
His old like army buddy or whatever
Huh.
has written this song, or claimed sole credit for the song.
I'm sure I've seen that episode, but I don't remember it.
It's one of the 158 worthwhile episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Absolutely. Yeah, sounds fun.
Great show.
Singer tries to protest, but Left interrupts him. He says, "Singer, I hired you to find me an alien." And that is where these 2 minutes end. So we'll have to wait until next week to find out how this is resolved.
They find Elf.
They find Alf.
Yes.
Yes, yes, they've been keeping an eye on the Tanner's house.
And then they take him away in one of the saddest series finales in the history of television.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, well, because they didn't know for sure if they were getting picked up or not. So they were leaving open the possibility for resolving that cliffhanger, and then
Yeah.
it just didn't.
And then they did that TV movie with none of the Tanners.
Right.
But
And
Martin Sheen?
Martin Sheen is
Martin
in it,
Sheen
yes.
and the guy who played Tim's brother on Home Improvement is like the human lead.
Yes.
And we were so disappointed. Like me and my brother, we were so excited for that thing. And we were just like, what? None of this is Elf.
Yeah.
Lily's not even
I mean,
annoyed.
That's true. There was no chance, if you have read anything about the behind the scenes on Alf, there was no chance that Max Wright, who played Willie, was ever going to come back for another Alf project
No,
because
he really was annoyed. He hated Elf.
reportedly hated working on that show. But yeah, Project Alf just does not live up to the original series, unfortunately.
that movie's probably on YouTube or something, right? Like, I can't
Um,
imagine it's under lock and key, really. Like,
Probably. Yeah, I don't know.
But it does feel very of a piece with this movie and this scene in particular, which like I think a lot of the 90s sci-fi elements that they were trying to parody in this movie really kind of click together in this one scene. Like it feels X-Files, it feels Men in Black.
Oh yeah,
They've
very
got
Men in Black.
they've got another Larry Sanders Show cast member playing the head of the covert alien hunting operation.
Oh yeah,
yeah, huh?
and Men in Black, right?
That's right. I didn't even think about that.
Rip Torn. Huh.
Yeah.
So I have a couple screenplay draft notes, but first let's see. Do either of you have any final thoughts on these 2 minutes? Eric, starting with you.
I really like the moment where the theremin sneaks into the score.
Mm,
For a movie where I think most of the weight of the musical mood is being carried by the needle drops, which is really, we can talk about this later, is like really the thing that I hang on to from this movie. But like as someone who loved Mars Attacks, to name another 90s comedic sci-fi movie, like get that little kind of hint of that Danny Elfman-esque sci-fi score pastiche in the background of this scene, and I really appreciate it. Kind of once again like brings it even deeper into the genre that they're aiming for.
yeah, good call. Anthony, anything from you on these 2 minutes?
Yes, there was one thing in my notes that we didn't get to. When Bobo brings up the remote, he also takes a bite of his sandwich,
Oh yes.
and it already has a bite out of it, obviously. But he kind of like, speaking of Bill Beretta being good in this movie, he kind of has Bobo like pull at it, so it's like
Mm,
it looks as much like a Muppet eating as it possibly could, I think.
yeah, like he
It's
really is taking that bite out of it.
yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
nice touch.
Huh. Yeah, cool. I didn't even really notice that. So, yeah, as I mentioned, screenplay draft. None of the Jerry Jewell drafts have Bobo as Rentro or any character named Rentro. And in fact, in the early Jerry Jewell drafts, there is no COVNET. Instead, there's a story with an astronomer named Maggie Tringale who works at an agency called NETSO. And we do find out what that stands for. It stands for National Extraterrestrial Surveillance Organization. And her colleagues are Colonel Matt Rushmore and Staff Sergeant Vinnie Taylor. She's introduced rushing down the hall of the agency to tell them, I've got contact. And then she explains that she is receiving a signal from outer space. And the signal, by the way, goes da 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 bum doko hama da 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 gonzo. Like once they refine and process the signal so they can actually hear it and understand it. That's what it says. This is pretty obviously inspired by Contact.
Oh, sure.
But Contact, the movie, was released in July of 1997, and Maggie Tringale appears in a draft of this movie dated February 27th, 1997. So either Jerry Jewell had seen a teaser trailer, like I don't know how early those started appearing for the movie Contact, or maybe more likely he had just read the book, so he kind of knew what was in it and knew that there was a movie coming out. But then by the time of the May 26th, 1998 draft, Maggie Tringale has become Carla Williams, and her boss is now Major Martin Williford. I don't know, like, why even bother changing these names? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they change them again for this one because we have General left. So consistently throughout these drafts, the people at Netso point out that the aliens come from the center of the Pleiades star cluster. They felt like that was important to include in all these drafts.
This suggests that Jerry Jewell has been reading some Carl Sagan.
I think probably, yeah.
Sure,
And
that
seems like something he would probably be into. Like we don't know that much about Jerry Jewell, but it sounds right. In the May 26, 1998 draft, The Signal is still a song, and in this one, it inspires Carla Williams and Major Williford to do a choreographed dance. And in this one, it goes da 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 bum doko huma whoppity hoof hoof duckity poo. So
very
that's
Galileo
different.
hoop hoop.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting, and it's kind of too bad that they replaced a female character with another male character. Like that's a missed opportunity. Because my next question for you two is, who do you think would have been a good Maggie Tringale or Carla Williams, this idealistic astronomer character who I'll just tell you, she ends up sympathizing with Gonzo by the end of the movie,
Sure.
the end of the script.
Realistically, in 1999,
1999, yeah, if they had made this way.
um,
Because my thought was, would Holly Hunter have done this? Because I could picture her kind of
sure.
as a Jodie Foster type in this.
I don't think she would have, but
Maybe
go
not.
on.
Maybe not.
I was going to say that maybe it could have been written as a Helen Hunt type
Sure.
in 1997.
Yeah.
But after she wins she won the Oscar, or did she get
She won an Oscar
nominated?
for
Yeah.
Okay, she won for as good as it gets. So then she's out, which is probably the same thing with Holly Hunter. Like,
Right.
I don't think anybody after winning their Oscar was going to do Muppets from Space.
So I think that's how you end up with Taya Leone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have been good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you get a little X-Files connection there because she was married to David Duchovny at the time.
Duchovny, that's true. Yeah,
By
yeah.
association. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah, so that's all I have for the screenplay this time. Erik, we are asking all of our guests this season 2 questions. The first one being, what is your history with this movie?
So I was trying to recall exactly what it was while I was watching the movie last night and afterward. And I want to say I saw it at a second run theater in the town that my grandparents lived in after they retired, Livonia, Michigan. Had this beautiful, like, mid-century modern movie palace called the Terrace that was eventually, I think, bought by Cinemark and became a second-run theater in Metro Detroit. And so I'm pretty sure that that's where we caught this, thus contributing to its mediocre box office take by not seeing it when it first came out. But this was the summer before my freshman year of high school. So, like, I'm sure I had a whole bunch of stuff going on. I was going to band camp for the first time, like, right around the time that this movie would have come out. And, like, it's really funny thinking about that movie summer and thinking about Muppets from Space in that context. Because, like, in the first episode, you guys mentioned that The Phantom Menace came out at the beginning of that summer movie season, which, like, I had completely forgotten about. And my other memory of that movie summer was being picked up by my parents from that band camp, and my mom telling me that she and my brother had seen Mystery Men when I was at band camp, and they were like, that movie was so funny, I can't believe nobody saw it. And, like, that's a movie that, like, I haven't revisited it in a while, so I don't know if it still holds up, but, like, I had a much greater affection for that movie than Muppets from Space. But, like I was saying at the beginning of the episode, there were little bits and pieces of the script that kind of lived on in the lexicon of the Adams household. And also, the soundtrack album was, like, in my parents' CD player in the car for years.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, and this was at a time when, like, I kind of had like a miniature funk phase, I feel like, at that time.
Okay.
Like,
because
urged
of
on
this
by
soundtrack?
both. Well, because of this soundtrack, and also, do you guys remember the Pure Funk compilation?
Oh, sure.
Probably best remembered from its commercials on cable of just like the most stereotypically kitschy 70s dancers dancing around to Brick House and Kung Fu fighting and theme from Shaft. Like, me and my friend thought that commercial was so funny, like, in a totally kitschy way. And eventually, like, he sent away for the album, and we just became obsessed with like Isaac Hayes and Rufus and LaBelle for like a short period of time. And he had that one. I had the Millennium Funk Party compilation, which was it was a Rhino comp. That had a lot of similar songs on it. You know, some overlap in artists. Like Pure Funk has Fire by the Ohio Players. Millennium Funk Party has Love Roller Coaster by the Ohio Players. So this was just very much in the ether at the time, and it was something that I could appreciate about Muppets from Space, because it was like, oh, I get it. Like, I know the whole kind of like outer space aesthetic of Earth, Wind, and Fire or Parliament, and that's where, like, that's the connection between having these aliens in this movie and why the aliens look the way that they do and why, you know, there are all these funk songs on this soundtrack. And so, like, more than anything, I guess Muppets from Space was a huge part of my pop music education.
Sure. Interesting.
Yeah.
Even if I was listening to G Love and Special Sauce doing Shining Star instead of Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Sure.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I guess I must have listened to the soundtrack a lot when it first came out. I definitely had the CD, but yeah, I don't think it was as instrumental in my music education, but that's really cool. Also, I really miss second run movie theaters. Those were the days.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
the dollar theaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Ryan, you live in Austin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There was a dollar theater in Round Rock when I lived in Austin that, like, me and my friend Mike Pace used to go to all the time. And it was so great. We would just see the worst movies or so cheap.
Yeah.
It's where I saw 2012. It's where I saw the John Travolta classic From Paris with Love. Some very, very fine movie experiences at that Round Rock Dollar Theater.
And it was cheap, so you didn't have to worry about, how much you were spending.
Yeah.
That's great. And our second question is, what is your favorite sci-fi movie or TV show?
Other property? If we're going to throw movies into it, that makes it a little tougher, but I think I will just go with the default. Like, it's Mystery Science Theater 3000. Like, I think if anybody is familiar with my work online, they know that, like, I'm a huge fan of that show. I've talked to many of the people who made it. It was much like the Muppets from Space soundtrack, like, really instrumental in forming my tastes in comedy, in television, and just kind of like filling my head with pop culture nonsense.
Yeah,
sure.
A show that continues to surprise me to this day, because every episode is so joke dense that, like, there are references that I didn't get in 1999 that I'm suddenly getting in 2025. None of this having to do with its sci-fi nature, but
right. That's funny, because I wouldn't
have
really thought about it. Like, it's not one of the first science fiction things I think of, but it fits. It takes place on a satellite. They're in space.
Yeah. They're the majority of the cast are robots.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's such a great pick. And, like, I think, Ryan and I are both right there with you too. Like, we're both big fans from way back.
I mean, it's a natural step from Muppet fandom to the Misty-dom, if you're already enjoying puppets putting on a show.
Yeah, good choice.
Right.
Thank you.
The other thing about that is that a lot of not even close to all, but many of the movies are sci-fi or sci-fi-ish.
Yes.
In addition to Mike and the Bots, Joel and the Bots, whoever, Emily, Jonah, I'll say them all. Mm-hmm. You also get, like, your Time of the Apes and your Pod People, and you know what I mean? Like, there's all this.
Well, especially when I got into the show right after it moved from Comedy Central to Sci-Fi Channel. And that 8th season, there was, like, an edict handed down from the channel that, like, every single movie had to be sci-fi or sci-fi adjacent. So, like, my kind of baptism into that world was all, like, those Universal black and white movies that make up the first 5 or 6 episodes of that season.
Right. Isn't Revenge of the Creature right in there? That's
Revenge of the Creature is the 8th season premiere. And, you know, that's the season that has Space Mutiny in it. You know,
right.
A first ballot nominee for the best episode of that show. Like, you know, they really got a lot of great stuff out of the sci-fi genre, both in the theater and outside of it.
Right.
Yeah, that's all true. Yeah, great choice. Okay, so then if there is nothing else with that, then we can wrap things up for this week. Eric, thank you so much again for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. Can I do my plugs?
Yes. Yeah, let's just go straight to that. Where can people find you online?
Give me a job is what I need. I need a full-time job. I got laid off by IGN last month, so I would really love to continue doing pop culture criticism and entertainment journalism online or in print. You know, in the meantime, you can find my writing at Episodic Medium. I'm doing the 5th season of Only Murders in the Building over there. If your readers aren't familiar, you know, that's this great newsletter that Miles McNutt started after the AV Club pushed us out the door. And, you know, it's been like kind of this great space where the TV club community kind of continued in the interim. And, you know, I've been lucky enough to cover a couple of shows there. I'm also, you know, I'm writing some articles for a local site here in Chicago called Block Club Chicago. But also you can find me at ericmadams.com. I post all my clips there, and then I'm on Blue Sky as Erik Adams, and I should look up my letterbox. You guys do your where you can find you online, and I'll add my letterbox to.
Okay, yeah,
Hingle.
I'll just run down the whole start with the whole closing spiel. Because as always, we want to thank Morgan Davy for our show's logo and Jordan Brandon for our theme song. And Tough Pigs is all over the internet at toughpigs.com and on social media and TeePublic. And we have a Discord server and a Patreon. And Anthony is on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper, and I am on Blue Sky at me, Ryan Rowe. And Anthony is on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. I am on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat.
And I'm at Letterboxd as Erik M. Adams again. Looks like Erik Madams. It's very weird, but you know, a lot of times Erik Adams is taken on these platforms. But yeah.
Let me, as a non-writer for Episodic Medium, but a proud subscriber, let me throw in an additional plug for it. If you miss the days of like well-written and thoughtful reviews of every episode of a TV show you're watching, a thing that used to be much more common on the internet than it
used
is
to
now.
Be everywhere, yeah.
I cannot recommend that site. It's not, you know, Eric mentioned himself and Miles McNutt. There's a lot of the old AV Club gang.
Noel Murray, Donna Bowman, Alex McLeavy, and
Zach
you know,
Hanlon doing Star
Zach
Trek
Hanlon.
reviews.
Yeah,
Les Chappell. You know, it's a great bunch, and I can't recommend it highly enough. It's well worth the $5 a month.
Yeah, there you go.
And they just introduced a new subscriber tier that has a Discord that's been a lot of fun. The loyal viewer tier. Not to put plugs on plugs, but
no,
check it out. Episodic Medium.
Cool. Yeah, everybody should go follow all of the things that we just mentioned, and everyone should also give us a positive review where they can do that, and tell their friends to listen to this podcast. And join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Bupkis.
The goat?
The remote!
Bupkis? You took my arms, golden charm, a diamond mine, a love so fine, yeah, but what did I get from you? Bupkis, what did I get from you? Bupkis, Bupkis is a lot of nothing, and that's what I got from you.